How's it going, Dopamon fans? The Colorado Avalanche have made a huge move today to secure their number one center long term. That's right, after all the chatter we've heard all summer, Nathan MacKinnon has signed an 8-year contract extension worth $100,800,000. That's a cap hit of $12.6 million per year, which starts in the 2023-2024 season, which when this contract begins, and that'll take him until he's 35 years old, as his birthday was in September.
Yeah, Nathan MacKinnon needs no introduction, but one of the best centermen and one of the best players in the entire NHL, and absolutely deserving of this cap hit last season. 65 games for the Colorado Avalanche, the Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche, had 32 goals, 56 assists, 88 points, and has had a career high 99 points and 41 goals in 2018-19 when he played all 82 games. Obviously, the shortened seasons, he hasn't been able to repeat the numbers of his career highs from 2018-19, 41 goals and 99 points. But with the added increase from offense we've seen the last few seasons, last year is one of the best offensive seasons NHL wide. No reason why he can't blow by those numbers this season, and is an absolute beast in the playoffs. 24 points last year in 20 games, 15 and 10, 25 and 15. He's just an absolute beast out there, one of the best players in the league. And yeah, absolutely deserving his contract. And we'll talk about some comparables and what we think about it.
Yeah, of course, MacKinnon is still on the last year of that 7-year, $6.3 million a year contract that he signed, which in hindsight is probably one of the best value contracts in NHL history, plain ever. I love that contract. I love to compare it to other contracts that, like Stutzla, that I think could become a huge, great value contract one day. We want to talk about if he can live up to that contract next year. He still has 1 year left at $6.3 million, so he doesn't have to live up to the $12.6 million just yet. He can still wait a year. But when this contract does kick in a year from now, its total value will be the fourth highest ever in NHL history, after Alexander Ovechkin, Shea Weber, and Sidney Crosby. Themselves, they all signed long-term 12 to 14-year deals that are impossible in today's NHL. You can only do 8 years if you have the rights to the player. This makes Nathan MacKinnon the highest cap hit in NHL history, $100,000 a year more than Connor McDavid.
Yeah, that's really. He did that on purpose, didn't he?
Yes.
He absolutely did that on purpose, just to say he's the highest contract in the salary cap era. But yeah, some of these big value contracts, looking at 13, 14, 12, 15 years, that crazy Ilya Kovalchuk contract that got nixed, I believe. But it's also impossible to compare these numbers against each other with just total value, because they're so much longer, because the rules are different now. So we put together just a little list here of cap hit percentage against the cap in the year that they were signed. So Nathan MacKinnon next year will have a 15.27% chunk of the Colorado Avalanche cap. And that's, I think, this year's cap number. So it might actually go down once the cap goes up by whatever, $1 million next year. Anyway, beside the point. Alex Ovechkin, when he signed his contract in 2008, was 18.96% of the Washington Capitals cap hit. Now, it might not seem like a lot, but 3 and 4% can add up quite a bit over the years. Sidney Crosby, again, 2008, 17.3. Most recently, in 2013, 14.5. Austin Matthews, probably one of the more comparable guys to Nathan MacKinnon, as well as Connor McDavid, 14.64% in 2019. Ilya Kovalchuk, like we said, was 16%. I love this. Vinny LeCavalier in 2005 was 17.63% of the contract at the time. Shea Weber, 13.10%, 2012. Eric, I think that was actually RFA, right? Was that the value that, and we're doing this on the fly now.
Yep.
That was the value that Philly offered him and then Nashville matched, right? If I remember correctly. So yeah, that wasn't even a UFA deal. That was huge. Eric Carlson, 14.47 just a few years ago. And then the dual Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves contracts from 2015, as well as Ryan Suter and Zach Parise, those infamous deals from 2012 at both 15.22 and 12.56%, respectively. So this is kind of what you're looking at. And honestly, Nathan MacKinnon's it's kind of a valued deal in comparison to some of these numbers. What do you think?
Absolutely. This is well within like a reasonable realm of, percent of your cap. The cap's going up.
Yeah.
So when you see a number like 12.6, that just blows. You're like, oh my God, that's a crazy amount of money. But really, it's not. Alex Ovechkin in 2008, I know he was scoring 90% of the goals, but to get 19% of the cap, that is huge. And I know when we talk about Kovalchuk and the Cavalier in 2005, that was when the new cap era began, and I think maybe teams were a little bit more willing to spend that kind of money. It was all new. They hadn't had like these cap experts. Now every team has a whole group of finance and business managers who are sitting there cap crunching cap numbers. But there's this like supposed trend of giving star players more and more money, and that by the dollar value it looks that way, but as a percentage of the cap it's remained fairly consistent. And I think that Nathan MacKinnon at about 15.25% of the cap, that's perfect
Yeah,
for a
and
number one generational kind of guy.
yeah, and something to keep in mind too is these numbers, because the cap hit is fixed and will always be 12.6, and you alluded to this, you talked about this. That number is going to go down. That percent is going to go down. In comparison, we don't have a graphic for it, but Sidney Crosby in 2013 signed his 14.5% contracts. Now, in today's cap world, it's only worth 10.5%. So that's, a full 4% down. All of these contracts, even Austin Matthews, has gone down since 2019. And because we've been in such a fixed cap world, hasn't really moved, but we're expecting, when I mean we, I mean everybody, NHL fans and the NHL as a business is expecting the cap hit to really take a boost in 2 or 3 years' time after, the the mayhem of the 2020 season and the pandemic seasons finally kind of goes away, and that escrow is repaid by the players and blah blah blah, and complicated, dumb business stuff. But I think it's a really good contract. I think in year 5 or 6 of this deal, it's going to be one of the best deals in the league. Even if early 30s Nathan MacKinnon, I still think he's got the wheels, he's got the ability, and Colorado's looking to be a really good team for a long, long, long time.
Mm-hmm. And for stars in the NHL, they generally continue to be stars after 35 years old.
Yeah.
It's usually only when a player has like a long injury history that they're like completely done and out by this age. Stars in the game, in today's NHL, they're going a long time. So I have a feeling that even when he's 35 or turning 36, because his birthday is in September, that after this contract, he can sign another big one, worth a lot of money. I think he'll still be in the game at that time.
Yeah, it'll obviously be shorter term, but he's still going to make a decent chunk of change. Think of Evgeny Malkin this year, older guy, but can still do it. Signed for 6.1 for the next 4 years. Could see something like that at age 36. See, comparable as far as age is concerned. Mm-hmm. But yeah, could very well be a Colorado Avalanche for the rest of his career. So yeah, thank you so much for watching.
I love this contract. What about you? Do you think you like what you love?
I really love this contract. I really do. Mm-hmm. Just for Colorado Avalanche fans to have your guy here now. He's here for long term. You don't have to worry about it. There's no cloud over your team going into next season. He's locked up and good. Mm-hmm. That's a huge part of this.
Yeah. Good asset management. Keep your number one center locked up long term. Of course, you all watching, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on the contract. If you think Nathan MacKinnon will live up to it, you think he's going to play well, you think he's going to break that career high in points, you let us know. We're Dopamon, two best friends that talk hockey news, analysis. We got mock drafts, predictions, scouting reports, all sorts of stuff. Can't wait to do more ANHL content as well. Maybe be a GM. maybe some games against one another. Ryan and I love to play head-to-head in NHL games, so hit like and subscribe so you can stick around for more dope hockey content. Peace.